So let's jump right in here. The first way to go about erasing your doubts is to deal with the regrets beforehand. Look at how Sarah talks about being extremely clear with why she does something helps her with the regret later on.
I've always wanted to be able to be in the future 10, 20 years and not regret. The way to get there is to be really clear about the choices that I do make and why.
And to be honest, this decision right now, it's not going to be easy. But I promise, later on, you'll feel much better. So a lot of this is to really emotionally prepare yourself for the decisions that you'll make and what will come after. In this next example, just look at how the slight framing of different things is already removing the regrets that she will have later on.
Had the opportunity to do 55 auditions and 55 no's. She's like, well, that's the job, isn't it? Like that's the work. So like when you actually get employed, that's the bonus.
Using this slight shift to mentally prepare for something before it happens makes you mentally stronger. Next one is really understanding that the decision that you make right now isn't going to be your final one. Listen to her decision-making process.
Goal or a plan in place just to give yourself a direction, but with always the sort of like reserve the right to change my mind attitude of.
You really don't want to overvalue one single decision and put so much pressure on yourself like this is going to change the rest of your life, because most of the decisions that you make will not be that. Because the reality of life is that with every new thing that you learn, you're becoming smarter, more intelligent. The way you make decisions changes. Like this example here, where anything can be an influence.
Young kids there, and they actually said, what shoes are they? There are inspirations in life everywhere, and if you just sort of have it on your mind, then anything can be an influence.
And if you're interested in becoming smarter than your own age, I have a different video on that. Next is, the more you do, the more you can eliminate. Listen to how the experiences are really changing her thinking.
Yeah, rather than I know what I want and I'm getting, rather than that, it's, well, I know I don't want to do that, so what is it that I do want?
Sometimes there's really no point in having too much doubts because your answer is on the other side. And the real solution to doubt sometimes is really just having more experience. So sometimes you just have to do it. Next, don't hold the puppy too tightly. Here's Sarah talking about the balance between joy and holding things a little too tightly.
Then it's just like you're hugging a puppy too hard, you can't love something too much like that. You have to let it have some space to live.
How this translates to us is that if you want your doubts to disappear, stop wanting things to be perfect. When you put so much force and pressure on something, life will start to lose its enjoyment, which means you kind of have to deliberately just let it go and let it work itself out. In this example, she talks about this with regards to her appearance.
Oftentimes, I find as a woman, you're more likely to be far more cruel to yourself than you ever are about other people or to other people. And so why can't you give yourself the grace of kindness as well?
This last one might be kind of weird, but it's creating an inner prep talker. See how she handled her inner critic.
I sort of developed an older sister character for a while who was like, well, what are you going to do about it, Sarah? You're going to just, you're going to complain all day or all night? Or are you going to, buck up and get out there and...
She knew what she needed to hear, and her imaginary sister is really what's helping her combat and silencing her doubt inside. The more of these challenges that you have against your inner critic, the more silence there will be. So what would a more mature version of you tell yourself? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, and I will talk to you in my next video.